Hi, I'm Jim with Pour the Juice, and in today's video, I wanted to do a follow-up of my previous video about the Maker's Mark Keeper's Release, um, and I want to showcase that in a blind with semi-similar whiskeys that are leading up to the same price. Um, so obviously, the first whiskey in the blind is going to be the Maker's Mark Keeper's Release. On the label, it says it's bold. So for this bottle, we're going to go with the B. I'll get that poured real quick. If you watched my review video on this whiskey, you'll see I had fairly positive things to say about it. I don't want to put any spoilers out there by saying what I remember it tasting like, just because I don't want to have that on my mind while I'm tasting through this whiskey. I want to just kind of go through it and pick which ones I like the best or which one I like the best. Um, Number 2 in that blind, I figured I'd go with another Maker's product. And so this is the French Oak 46 Cask Strength. C for cask strength is going to be on this tag. I'll have that pointed down as well. I'm a big fan of 46 cask strength. It's one of my favorite shelf steady whiskeys. I personally think it's extremely underrated. Maybe Maker's Mark's best product. So those are both wheaters. I think I mentioned in my last video too that the difference between Maker's Mark products is just how they finish their whiskeys. The recipes are always the same. So the same whiskey that's in a regular Maker's Mark bottle is the same exact whiskey that's in the 46 cask strength or a pick or whatever it may be. They don't have different recipes. It's just how they're finished with their staves and how long they're finished. I guess that would be part of it too. But so these two whiskeys have the same juice, just the difference is how they're finished. And last, I wanted to go with another wheater, one that's technically by MSRP a little bit cheaper, but nobody's gonna find it for cheaper usually. Antique 107. It's gonna be labeled with the A for antique. This is a lot of people's favorite Weller. One of my favorite Wellers. Thank you to my cousin who picked this up for me. It's much appreciated. I am in Weller no man's land here where I am. But yeah, I have these poured. I'm gonna mix them up now. It's fairly easy for me to forget which one is which. It takes a couple passes and it's already gone. Now, I do want to go over the reasons again why I chose these whiskeys. The Maker's Keeper's release was $75.99 plus tax, whereas I believe the 46 cask strength was about 65 plus tax or 60 plus tax, somewhere around there. So it was at least $10 cheaper from my memory, MSRP. And like I said, the Antique 107 I think is like a $40 or $50 bottle MSRP that you could pretty much find for the 100 or 120 mark on the secondary. And I just want to see how these kind of stack up against each other as wheaters. I have my own assumptions on what will come out first, but I kind of want to leave those off the table. And we'll get started. I'm going to go from right to left like I normally do. I actually do have a little cup of water over here, so I'll be sipping on that in between as well. I do think that helps me with tasting different whiskeys. And this first one smells great. Got a little fruitiness on it. A lot of fruit. Bright fruit. A little berry. vanilla. Smells good. It tastes good too. There's a little cherry licorice on that. Quite a bit of cherry licorice, actually. I'm getting oak at the end. It's good whiskey. A lot of, yeah, like cherry Twizzler almost. And the oak keeps building. A lot of bitterness on the end. Good whiskey, though. Before I take a sip, I'll try to water in between each one. A little aguacito. All right, let's go with the second glass. Not picking up the nose as easy on this. So there's more chocolate on that. There's also quite a bit of oak on that pour as well. Quite a bit. Almost feel like I poured two of the same whiskeys. It's interesting. I'm also trying to think why my palate is picking this up as so bitter. Let's go to number 3. Then we're going to have to come back through because I'm a little confused. That tasted almost like nothing. Very light oak at the end. I think my palate might be a little broken. So far, this one is definitely my favorite, even though it does have that heavy oak at the end. It comes in with a strong cherry punch. And, you know, another reason why I wanted to go with this blind is because how similar they are in proof points. The Keeper's Release, I think, is the highest at 109.2. The 46 cask is 110.1, so that's the highest. And then 107 is 107. So within, you know, 3 proof points are all of these whiskeys. I'll try to go back through it the same way. Opposite way. Opposite way. If you're enjoying this blind so far, I know it hasn't been that helpful because I'm a little bit lost at the moment, but if you enjoy this blind, if you enjoy other blinds that I've done, please like the video, please subscribe. Subscribing is, you know, of utmost importance to me as I try to grow my channel. And please leave a comment on what you think about this new Maker's Mark if you've been able to try it. Greatly appreciated. All right, so this is coming a little bit more alive now that I gave it a bit of a break. There's a give and take of these videos when I make a blind. It's if I go a little too fast, I feel like I'm rushing through it. But if I don't do that, it turns out to be a 22-minute video. Getting chocolate on that too. So I'm getting chocolate on all 3, which is interesting. This is the least bitter pour out of all of them. Little chocolate, little fruit. I'll be honest, I'm a little more confused in this video than I thought I would be, because I had previously done this before. I recorded a video doing this blind, or I thought I recorded the video doing a blind, went to go check the video, realized it wasn't recorded. I decided to, go and do it again anyway. Gave the Keeper's Release a little bit more time to breathe, and maybe for my palate to change. The results in that video came out pretty definitive, and I don't want to talk about it right now. I will at the end, depending. Not even depending. I'll talk about it at the end. But this go around is much more difficult to me. I like this more than this, even though this does have more bitterness to it. Way more oak. Not a terrible amount of oak, though. Just enough oak to let you know it's there. But there is some bright fruit qualities on it. It's very pleasant, very easy to drink. Mm. Yeah, and this is really showing on the nose compared to these other two. It's really great. Phenomenal nose on this whiskey. It's big. Some would say bold. This is so interesting. So the flavor on this, the cherry flavor, if it's not what you're looking for, if you don't like a medicinal cherry or like a Twizzler type cherry, you're not going to like this whiskey. And if you don't like oak, you're not going to like this whiskey. But if that's your thing, go out and buy whatever this is, because this is Twizzler cherry, medicinal cherry, and big time oak. And I can guess what that whiskey is just from saying that. For me, those aren't my specific flavors that I'm looking for. So I'm going to move this to second place. Even though it is the whiskey with the best nose out of the three that I have here and the biggest palate. It's just those flavors aren't attuned to my palate, I guess. I'm going to go back through one more time. I'm going to see if I can get any more out of this glass. So I feel like I'm selling it a bit short. But that's what happens blind sometimes. Getting a lot of, almost like a twist ice cream, chocolate and vanilla. Milk chocolate. There's vanilla in there. I'm not getting any fruit now. Yeah. Dark chocolate. vanilla, baking spices. This whiskey isn't showing out as well as it did in the previous time I recorded this or tried to record this blind. I'm almost positive I know what this is. And last time it came out in first for me. This time it will come in third, which is interesting. It kind of shows how your profile can, your palate can change in just a couple days. But there's no way I could put this above this for sure right now. Yeah, it's just a punch of flavor. And it's definitely, this is definitely more off-putting in some senses because of the bitter oak in it, the amount of oak. But it also just has so much more going for it than this does currently, which is a very big surprise to me. All right. We'll get into this. Just to be sure, I don't know if this is for sure my number one, but we'll see after this taste. My palate's for sure struggling right now. This is just a lot more easy drinking, a lot more bright fruit. Still get some cherry, a little bit of chocolate in there, but it's much brighter. This is, if I was going to pick one, if I had some friends coming over and I only had these 3 whiskeys with me, and these guys that I was bringing over were whiskey fans, but not like aficionados. They just want to have a few glasses and have a good time, play some darts, do some grilling, whatever it is. It would be a no-brainer. I would choose this. I think I would choose whatever's here for like real whiskey drinkers, for something a little bit different. Having said that, this is more attuned to my palate as well. So we'll move forward with that. This is going to be my order. I'm going to go with third place. And I have a feeling this is going to be C. It is C. Third place is Maker's Mark 46 cask strength. Second place, I believe this is going to be B. Oh, wow. That's really interesting. Second place is A. That's crazy. This is why I love blinds. I was just talking nonsense to my wife about how blinds have become too easy for me. And then here you go, just blowing my mind. Well, this is not what happened the last time I went to go record this video. In that video, the order was reversed. I don't know what that means. Maybe my taste buds are shot today. Maybe they were the other night. Or maybe this has just changed quite a bit in a few days and it's really showing out well. When I first took a sip of this bottle, because originally I had this in this spot. When I first smelled this and I tasted, well, when I first smelled it, I thought this was the Antique 107. And then when I tasted it, there was more oak on the palate than I remember. So I thought, no, that can't be 107. And then I was thinking, maybe this is 107 because this is showing up a little bit lighter. Yeah, it's 107. Hope you enjoyed the video. I already asked you to like and comment and subscribe and all that fun stuff. So last thing I have to do is say cheers. Thank you for watching. Cheers.